Welcome to the Phenomenal Teacher Show. This is a very special episode because we are going to be boosting the relationship with our partners. And how do we do that? If you're interested, I'm going to share with you 5 ways to boost the relationship with your current partner. So keep on watching. First, I'd like to start off by saying there is an initial rush of romantic flow. I call it like the extended honeymoon phase, and it could last anywhere from a few months to 18 months. And generally speaking, it's about 18 to 2 years long. And then after that, this romantic rush seems to fade away. So how do we instill that spark, that passion between you and your love interest? Well, it's about appreciating the things that they're doing right. And I know you're saying, Diana, that sounds pretty simple. I mean, is there anything more? Yes, I'm going to share with you 5 tricks in order to boost your relationship with your partner. I learned these 5 tips from relationship expert Andrea Surtash. So let's go ahead and start with number 1. The first tip is to take inventory. You are going to notice one thing that your partner has done, either to improve your household, to improve something for your family, or for you personally, and I want you to write it down. And when you feel frustrated with him, the upcoming week or month, I want you to look back at that note and remind yourself, oh yeah, that's right, he did do this, right? He did do that, and appreciate it. There's nothing worse than having a partner continually give and do without getting any sort of acknowledgement. They feel like, what's the point? Don't you ever feel that way? If you continually do something and it goes unnoticed? So I want you to go ahead and notice your partner and write it down and take inventory. Tip number 2 is to tell your partner what you appreciate about them. Now, it's a follow-up from number 1 is to take inventory. Now that you took some inventory, you can actually express it to your partner, what you appreciate. It feels so good when somebody notices your effort. Don't you feel great when the principal or a fellow colleague says, you know what, I loved how your students, behaved down the hallway. I love how they were, attentive during the speech, the seminar, the, attendance hall, the gathering, whatever it is that you guys are. And because oftentimes when I taught, I would tell my students, you are a reflection of me. And this classroom is a unity. It's a unit of one. We are like an extended family members. And you could call me auntie. In Hawaii, we're really big on everybody's your auntie and your uncle, right? So even though they're not blood related. So we are an extension of a family. So what you do is represented from me. And it's so nice to get acknowledged of doing something right and acknowledging your students and you receiving that acknowledgement as well. So just as much as you like it. And even if you don't, sometimes it's hard to receive a compliment or to receive high regard. And that goes back to your own self-value and your self-worth of feeling you're not good enough to actually receive that compliment or the acknowledgement. So I want you to not only receive it happily, but with your partner, I want you to give it to them, okay? Because they're going to be uplifted. Their mood is going to change around you when you repeat this, and over again. Instead of pinpointing, what your partner didn't do or forgot to do or did wrong, we continually put other people down without intentionally trying to. So I'm not here to judge you. I've been there. I've certainly done it myself. I'm here to support you. And so heed this advice, my friend. Take inventory. And number 2, express it. Express your appreciation to your partner. Tip number 3 is to visualize what a connected relationship would look like. Now, you did not hear me say what a perfect relationship will look like, because each of us has our own version of perfection. I might think perfection might involve more emotional bonding within the relationship. His idea of perfection might entail something completely different, because we are our own unique expression of life in this human form. And so what I think might vary what he thinks, and that is completely okay. And that's how we are made. We are made to complement each other. My flaws are his strengths. His flaws are my strengths. And that's usually how pairing up works, where you find a mate, a partner in life, where you could grow and evolve and work together into bettering ourselves. So now that you have envisioned what a connected relationship could look like, I want you to feel it, okay? I want you to feel how that would be like in this reality. And right now when you're watching this video, I want you to think of, man, that feels so great to be in this relationship with my partner, because he is at his best version of himself, and so am I. And together, wow, we're just this powerful couple that complements each other. I want you to speak those words out loud, and I want you to continue to envisioning this connected relationship often, to reignite these feelings of what this relationship could look like. I didn't say should look like, what they could look like. And then I want you to take some small steps in order to reach this goal of having a relationship with your partner that really exemplifies these feelings that you're currently feeling when you visualize what your relationship could be like, could look like. And then one day when you play this video back, you're going to say, you know what? It is definitely at this stage. And if you honestly are truthful to yourself, where you cannot see the best version of this relationship, you might want to reconsider whether it is a healthy one for you, whether it is in a true alignment with the person that you truly are. But that's a whole different video. But for right now, I want you to visualize it, feel it as if it's real, and keep that feeling strong. Keep building on that momentum of small steps towards it. Tip number 4 is to touch more. So you are going to touch each other more. Why? Because it releases a chemical called oxytocin, and that is considered the cuddle hormone. Now, when you touch each other, not only does it feel good, and oftentimes I tell you on Central Saturday, hey, use your senses to live this life more fully and more completely. If you haven't checked out the Instagram page, that's where I put most little videos that are 10 seconds long, and I put posts up, and we have giveaways on there. So follow me on Phenomenal Teacher at Instagram. Now, back to the hormone, oxytocin. You want more of this hormone because it decreases or combats the other hormone, which is cortisol, which is when you're stressed, it rises. So what you want to do is you want to balance out your hormones so that you're not exceedingly stressed out. And as a teacher, we could definitely be stressed out. We have a lot on our plate, especially now. Some of you are teaching hybrid models. So not only are you doing it online, but you're doing it live in class too. So my friend, I'm here for you. I'm here to support you. And I can only feel your struggles. Like I'm just here, okay? I'm here. But anyhow, I want you to touch your partner more and touch yourself more. It feels good to give yourself a little touch, to touch your hair, to tell yourself, you know what? I love myself. I love this body. And my partner, I love you and I love your body. Isn't it nice to touch each other? You don't have to say that out loud. I mean, you can if you want to. But if you don't normally speak that way, he would think that you're probably acting a little strange. However, if you're a big hugger, like I love hugging, I really do. I don't think I get enough hugs. I don't give enough hugs, but that's definitely something that I'm always striving to. So think of habits of, as soon as I walk in the door, I do what? I take off my shoes, I put my keys away, I put my jacket away, or my sweater, or my bag, etc. And then you wash your hands, and then you give hugs, right? To your family members, to your partner, whoever it is in that household, to your pet. Hug, because it feels good. And touch, because that feels good. So do the things that feel good, because overall, isn't that what it's all about? Feeling better, feeling good, feeling complete and whole. And one way to do that with this tip number 4 is to touch. Last tip number 5, is to get over the idea of having to be perfect. We talked a little bit about this earlier. Perfection varies from person to person and what that ideally looks like for each of us. So I want you to really consider not having a flawless relationship, a flawless marriage, a flawless, boyfriend-girlfriend situation. I want you to think about, how could we make this better right now? How can I feel better in this relationship? How can he feel better in this relationship? What does he need from me? And what do I really need from him? And how can I give him what he needs? And how can he give me what I need? And it really starts with conversations. Just like I'm having this simple, video, this conversation with you, because I really want to inspire you and hopefully to help you in guiding and building and bonding and growing the relationship that you have with your partner. So remember to not aim for perfection, but aim to be connected, to be fully present in the relationship that you have with your partner. Now, you've heard me say this quite a number of times. What we put our attention towards expands. So if we put our attention towards everything that our partner is doing wrong, that is going to expand. But if we shift our focus to some of the things that they could be doing right and appreciating them and actually verbally acknowledging to your partner, hey, I really appreciate that you took out the garbage without me asking. I really appreciate that you switched that light fixture outside. That was pretty cool. Now we can see better when we go outside at night, right? Simple tasks that needed to be done, that were done, or just, the way he looked at you, or the way that he might have appreciated the way that you looked. When you practice these 5 tricks that I shared with you today, it will increase the feel-good hormone of dopamine while decreasing your stress hormone of cortisol. And that's what we want. That's what the Phenomenal Teacher Show is about, increasing your wealth and your well-being. And this definitely increases your well-being, especially since relationships really add such a benefit to our lives, because we get to share it with the ones we love. Let's recap the 5 tricks that I shared with you today. Number 1 is to take personal inventory of the things that they've done to support you, your family, or your household. Number 2 is to share that appreciation with your partner and write it down so that you can reference it back at a later time that you're angry with them. Number 3 is to visualize what a connected relationship will look like and take steps to move towards creating that ideal relationship between the two of you. Number 4 is to touch. Touch yourselves, touch your partner, show some love through touch. And number 5 is to get rid of the idea that it has to be perfect. There's no such thing, but we could ideally grow and evolve the relationships that we are in right now. So how can you enjoy your partner more? What kinds of things can you do together? What conversations can you have together? What games can you play together? Okay, ask yourself questions that ignite feelings of bonding with your partner to actually start enjoying being with them all over again. So remember, the key to feeling better about the relationship you are in is to actually appreciate the things that your partner has done, or just his characteristic traits. So for example, if he's a good listener, if he's kind, if he's gentle to you, if he's patient with you or the kids, if you have any. So I want you to think of, what are some attributes? What are some characteristics? What are some traits? What are some habits that he does that I absolutely love? There's always at least one thing that you could appreciate about your partner. And if you can't, I want you to rewind time back to when you first met. What were some initial things that drew you to him? Okay, was it, his eyes? Was it his hair? Was it his smile, right? So think about physically and, just maybe emotional connection or chemistry that you felt, and try to reignite that. So once you appreciate him, then you appreciate the relationship, and then you start feeling better about it, and you're like, hey, you know what? I feel pretty lucky right now. Sure, it's not perfect, but what is? And if we set our standards to perfection up here, it's going to be really hard to meet that, because you're not evolving and you're not growing into the relationship to make it as perfect as it could be. If you're already starting at, well, it's not perfect, it's not going to work out, he doesn't meet my needs, and start thinking to yourself, how can I meet my own needs so I don't need him to make me happy? I can make myself very happy. But he just adds value and highlights my life, right? By adding more happiness to it instead of withdrawing it from me. Or if you're in a relationship and you really have to reconsider, is this even compatible together? Are we even aligned, in alignment with this relationship? Do we want the same things? And then you can reevaluate that, because you, my phenomenal teacher friend, deserve to have an amazing relationship with your partner. You really do. You are worthy and deserving of a relationship that fulfills you, that completes you. Now remember, nothing outside of you can complete you. You are whole yourself, but they complete you in a way of they enhance your life. And he's not the only reason why your life is enhanced. You have many other things that you're interested in that brings you joy and happiness, but he adds to that. I hope this video has helped you in any way, and if it did, I appreciate if you like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and share it with a fellow teacher friend so they could benefit from this video too. It allows me to know, hey Diana, I saw your video, I liked it, way to go, and keep doing more of them. Okay, and if you have not joined the Phenomenal Teacher Club, what are you waiting for? It has members exclusive only benefits and perks behind the scenes of increasing your wealth and well-being. So what are you waiting for? There's a special place just for you in the Phenomenal Teacher Club. And until then, I want to continue to encourage you and support you on becoming a phenomenal teacher that you have always intended to be. And until next time, bye for now. This is the blooper section. I've re-recorded this numerous amount of times because I really wanted the truth of their expression for this to come out and to be beneficial. So if you'd like to see some of these bloopers that didn't make the final cut of the video, then keep on watching, because we are each individually made magnificent in our own way, and together we complement each other. What he lacks, I have in strength. What I have in strength and I lack, because each of us have our own unique way of expressing. Oh my gosh. Now, you did not hear me say, did you hear me say? Wow. So let's recap the 5 tips I shared with you today. Number 1 is to take inventory. Number 2 is to share your appreciation. Number 3 is to visualize a perfect connected, did I just say perfect? And that concludes this episode on the Phenomenal Teacher Show. Thank you so much for tuning in and to watching this episode, and I'll see you next time.